Hey, DeRacers. So we're just starting season 3 of DERC Army, and we've been talking a lot with a lot of the owners. Mr. E and I, we've been going back and forth about this. And the question that we want to work to solve is how can we support the growth of the smaller teams, especially so that way we could have more competition, better teams as a whole, so we can see the DERC Army grow, see leagues and teams, and how do we attract new users to flood to the DeRace, or I'm sorry, to the DERC Army teams and have better competition there. And so one of the things we did, we were talking with a few owners, asking about, can we give you resources? What kind of things you need? Do you need tools? And one of the ideas that we came up with, which we're really excited to share with you today, is what we're calling the DeRacers sprints. So now the DeRacer sprints, this is something we're planning on kicking off in October as we finish up the DERC Army Season 3. And the idea behind this, I'll let you take over, Mr. E.
Yeah, so what we're looking to do is have two teams pitted against each other. Each team will pick a horse, a singular horse, for each of the surfaces. It can be the same horse on dirt versus synth, but the idea is that that one horse for your team that's representing your team has to run a particular distance 10 times. The distance itself will actually be randomized, so you can't plan ahead too much. But the idea is that two teams have at least one horse on each team. You could have three separate horses pitted against each other for a total of 30 races.
And now for this event, our target is a 72-hour window. So for the people that don't have, like bots, for example, if you don't have a ton of tools at your disposal and it's a little bit harder for you to manage a team, this way that you can go into this and at most, you just have to manage 3 different horses over the course of 3 full days. And now the goal with this one too is we do not want to charge anybody for this. It is 0 entry fee. And what we're going to do is we're going to pay out 200 DERC to the winning team of those 2. So our hope is that if the little teams want to come in here and to compete, you can earn this. So if you only need to show up with 3 horses, we're going to randomize which furlongs, of course. We'll give you a little bit of a heads up to give you the chance to test their grounds to figure out where your horse is or which horse should do those. But our goal here is that maybe by offering out a 200 DERC prize, this can give you some resources to go better recruit people from the DeRace Discord, to pay out a salary or prizes to your active players. But we're hoping that this is going to be something that's going to help you guys grow.
So coming in October, one of the things we're excited about is we've already got a couple of teams that are excited to jump on board for the first competition. So we're going to pit 2 different teams, and we'll tease which of those 2 teams are in the coming weeks here. But we're going to pit those 2 against each other in early October and compete for this 200 DERC prize. And the idea is that we want 2 teams that are roughly the same size, maybe the same number of horses, or at least something in terms of parity where we're competing with similar sized teams so that they can see what it feels like to race individually against another team and not have to, like we said, not have to compete against some of the teams that have hundreds of horses. So again, you could have one horse on your team and be able to compete in this tournament or this competition. So we're excited to be able to bring that in early October and see what comes of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot that we can grow this with. Right now, we're thinking we might do 1 to 2 of these per month. So depending on your guys' interest, if new teams want to form, register with DERC Army, get your team established there, do it, just stay engaged, and then reach out to us if you would like your team to compete. What we'll do is we'll keep track of it. We might even create our own kind of seasonal score, so that way as you beat teams, maybe you'll work your way up the runs and you'll be able to go against larger teams. But essentially everything about this is trying to find ways to support the smaller teams to get bigger and stronger, and we hope that this is going to do the job.
That's absolutely right. And I think another really cool thing that could come out of this is a little more of a tournament style structure that we could do where say 8 teams are competing against each other, and you have team A and B battling, and then you have team C and D battling, and you could eventually have it structured in a way that you have semifinals and finals and work up to some bigger prizes. We're working on those right now, but right now we're going to start with 1 team versus 1 team.
Yep. And one thing to say that we haven't said it yet is for the scoring. When you run your 10 races, what we're going to do is we're going to scrape and study your horse. As soon as we say go, it's going to be the first 10 races. So if you run more than 10, only the first 10 are going to count. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take your horse's times and we're going to average it. So when you have your two teams that compete, it's going to be which horse has a better average time over the course of that. So even if your horse is not a champion on that track, all you need to do is to beat your opposing team's average score. So a fifth place horse could theoretically still win it for your team.
Absolutely. And since there's 3 separate surfaces, we'll have a winner from dirt, a winner from synth, and a winner from turf. And that allows us to have, hopefully it's competitive and it's a 2-1 win for one of the teams.
That sounds good. All right, guys. So if this is something that you're interested in, reach out to us. We're going to be keeping a roster on this one. And as Mr. E said, our target is going to be as soon as we finish up season 3 of DERC Army. We've been talking to multiple teams. We have some ideas of who we want to start it off with. But if we haven't reached out to you, make sure to contact us and we'll start putting your name on the rosters as well.
Looking forward to it.